Let's try this. Try this again. Let's see. So this morning we had a little trip up, and I'm sorry, but the sound didn't happen. We started talking about when the Dominoes arrived in Miami to do the record, and you guys, like I said, I thought that you may have taken a couple of days to get yourself accustomed to the climate, whatever. But you said you went straight into the studio.
That's what we're there for. We were there to record, not to hang out, even though it was nice. But we were excited about getting in the studio because we had a tour that was coming up, and we didn't know what was going to happen. And when we got there, we had to go down and check it out, you know.
And the studio,
Criteria. And so we had to go check it out.
What was up with Criteria? Was that a famous studio at the time?
Yeah, well, they had just built it. It was like Atlantic South, you know. And I mean, it still had egg cartons on the walls and toe sack on the walls. The only one gold album in the whole place, and it was a big place, the James Brown album. Hanging on the wall down. And you open up the Layla album, and you can see me. I'm in some yellow pants and landlubbers, and I'm walking by the gold album. It was cool.
I'll have to look at that again.
Yeah, I had me some bell bottoms too, you know.
Right.
Only mine were banana. I'm good in yellow. It takes me about 5 minutes, you know. I don't even have to hit the beach. I just kind of go out on the patio and look up 5 minutes and toasted.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. So who was responsible for, who chose that studio? Why did you go to the United States to record Layla?
We wanted Tom Dowd to do it, and that's where he was at the moment. He had been doing stuff with the Allman Brothers. And I don't know, it's how one of those things. Stigwood was close with Ahmet and excuse me, and everyone. I mean, so they're all intertwined. You know,
Okay.
It's a good way to put it. And it seemed to be a part of what was going on.
And Eric probably wanted to continue that sort of American feel and just
Yeah.
Who would want to, because you would get the sound according to where you recorded, so I'm sure that he chose the United States to record because that's what he was after at the time.
Tom Dowd couldn't believe it when we walked in there carrying guitars. We were carrying the guitars and little
Champ?
Fender, huh?
Little Champs?
Little Champ, like my little champ over there. And Tom Dowd goes, because he was used Eric with big Marshall stacks.
Right.
Completely different thing altogether. But when we started setting up some things, getting the piano and everything where it organized, I tweaked the organ and we messed around a little bit and went back to the studio, went back home, and then came to the studio the next day, bright and early, just like we're supposed to. He said, all I want, he called us fellas. All right, fellas, he said, all I want is 4 hours of your time every day. That's all I want. And he got more than that.
I was going to say.
We were there bright and early and stayed as long as we could, you know. But we started out, and the first song we did was just happened to be the first song that Eric and I ever wrote, I Looked Away. Did all the parts, everything. When we did everything on that record, we did our background parts and guitar parts and all that at the end of the song. When it was time to put everything on, at the end of the song.
Right, your overdubs.
You know,
But someone had mentioned, I think it was in something you read today, some kind of article, that you guys had done absolutely nothing for the first several days.
Rubbish.
For the first several days that you were there, you did nothing. So.
Yeah, but record I Looked Away, and the second day we did nothing but record Bell Bottom Blues. Third day we did nothing but record Any Day, and then went out and saw the Allman Brothers band on a flatbed truck, you know.
Right.
And that was when we went back and kind of got to know each other through music and jamming and stuff. Decided to get Dwayne in on the thing if he wanted to do it. We tried to get him to join our band.
Yeah. So when you guys would finish the day, what would you do?
Go back to the hotel and play and sing. And pretty
You-
much that's
you never
what
went out?
we did. We went out to the Highwire game, and it was real interesting. Pointless, but interesting. You know? Dangerous. You know, they sling these balls real quick, and
It's a bit like cricket, isn't it?
it's something
bit.
like that. Yeah, they got these scoops and they're landing on you. Something about Miami. I don't know where that comes from, but
Maybe the Cuban influence.
we did. We didn't go to clubs because there was one at the Thunderbird.
Were you writing songs at all during the time that this was going down? At all? Were you guys...
One song. I'm glad you said something. When we did Keep On Growing. It was Keep On Growing. That was one. Bell Bottom. It was I Looked Away, Bell Bottom Blues, and then we did a jam. And this guy had come, and the guy that invented
Pig nose?
the pig nose amp came by and gave Eric 2 of them, and we recorded that and this little.
Who started that?
He was just messing around. We just picked it all up, you know. It came out of us just playing together, and this thing was such a great groove, you know, a great groove. It happened right then, you know. We just all started playing this thing, and when we got finished, Eric says, "I want to do one more guitar part," and so everybody went and thing. I was last, and I got stopped in the middle of the door of the studio and the control room, and I could hear that all he was listening to was bass, drums,
The
and
rhythm
organ.
set.
He wasn't listening to what he had just done, and he put a second harmony on it with that little old bitty pig nose amp. And I was standing there listening, and all you could hear was him doing his thing on his Oswich H. What is this one? And he did another one. And he did first part, second part harmony, a third part harmony, and then he wanted to do something else, and it kind of went here and there and there. You could see that he had this painting, and lack of a better way to put it, in his mind, and he was laying it out on the canvas of sound, you know, and we're all like, man, this is just awesome, because he's doing all these things and only listening to the drums and the organ and the bass, you know. I mean, it was awesome, and we couldn't wait to get in to hear it. And he said, "All right, let's." He had one more little thing. It just went bing, bing, bing. And then he said, "All right, now let's all have a listen to how it just sounds like." And what he had done was edited all his guitar parts at once, and in one sitting. And when that came, we pushed the faders up on those guitars, and there was 5 of them, including the original and 4 overdubs, and it was
That's pretty,
absolutely amazing.
that's pretty brilliant.
It was when that flowed through those speakers. It was like
Wow.
paint, you know, acrylic paint washing over you. These beautiful blues and reds, and just
You know-
amazing.
That's something that no one ever talks about. That's pretty amazing for one person to do that.
Yeah, but no edit. He edited it himself. He even down to the last 3 notes, you know. And if I'm not mistaken, that was track 5. So he did 1 and 4 overdubs, and it was absolutely amazing how that came out. And then, what you gonna do? You know, they were planning on canning it, And that meant really like putting it in the can, and when the band all died, they'd release it after we're gone. And I said, no, man, that's just too good. You got to give me a shot at this. And they said, all right. And I had something that just came to me. You know, it's about kids keeping on growing. You know, and I was young. I didn't know. I hadn't been in the world that long. You know. And I went out into the foyer of Criteria and sat on the floor with a yellow notepad. And I couldn't, it started coming out, you know. I was laughing, playing in the streets, I was unknowing, didn't know my fate.
Melody and all.
Playing the game of love but never really showing, thought the love could wait. And I was a young man and sure to go astray. You walked right into my life and told me love will find a way. Oh yes it will, if you keep on growing. And I wrote all the melody and the words right then and there. And when I got finished with it, I kind of corrected it, you know, because it looked like gibberish, you know, because it all just flowed out of me. As quick as I could get it on the paper, that's how it came out. And I went, okay, because they didn't have a clue what I was going to do, you know. It wasn't something I sat around and tried to get something to rhyme. That's how songwriting is with me, as you know. And now I walked back into the big doors of Studio B, and they had a big boom in there, and it was a huge place. Probably still is.
The big
They had this huge boom with a microphone about like that and about that big around, hanging down for me. And Tom Dowd and Eric I could see them through the glass, you know, and they were like 30 feet away from me. I could see them through the glass. And they didn't know what I had done. They just hit record, and I started singing. And, you know, I was laughing, you know, and
Did they look surprised, or?
if they hadn't been surprised, I would have been surprised. You know? But I stopped it right in the first verse because I knew what had to be. I said, "Hey man, come out here and do this Sam and Dave thing with me. This is how to do it. This is how this is going to work." And wrote out the lyrics, and we did it, and we did it. I'm showing all my hair.
No, this is unbuttoned down here. No, you're good there. You're fine.
Oh, well, anyway, we hit it and did it, and that was it. You know, one take.
That's awesome. So, what did Eric like that, or?
Well, hell yeah, he did.
I'll bet he must have enjoyed doing that duet thing.
Yeah, but that was
Was
our
that the
thing.
first time that happened with you two?
No, that's what we did. He didn't make a move up
But
there.
that was
I didn't miss a thing. So
That was like the third or the fourth song on the record, but
third song.
the third song, excuse me. And so you had already done that before? You did.
No, it was a jam.
No. What I'm saying is the singing, the duet style.
Yeah, that's what we had done. That's how we based our.
It ended up being very much so that.
Yeah,
duet thing.
it's like we're. Sometimes people don't know who's singing what, you know.
It surprises me and shocks me actually that some people think that Eric sang Thorn Tree.
Yeah, Thorn Tree, and all the vocals on all the songs, you know.
Right.
It's to be me. Sometimes it gets like,
It's very
okay,
difficult.
fellas,
It's very difficult because
you're gonna get it right one day.
you don't seem to get the due that that a lot of people think you don't receive for writing more than half of the record. For
Yeah,
you know,
it was Eric and I put the band together at George's request.
right. It
And
wasn't,
so it was Eric and my band. When we got finished on the road, we went in to try to do a second album after we got back. We shouldn't have done that. But Carl already had plans to go see playing with Leon. Jim Gordon was already going to be in Traffic. You know, so it's just me and Eric. And was like, well, what are we
were the
going to
two
do?
of you planning on continuing together?
Yeah, we just hadn't figured out what, he didn't know what he was going to do. He didn't know what he was going to do. All I could do was wait. Man, 2 years is waiting long enough, you know. I was bouncing off the walls then.
Well, the big blow up happened with Jim Gordon.
Yeah, yeah, well, but that, you know, he's the one that broke the band and the potentiality of
Can you
that
tell me
band
what
up.
it was like for you guys to tour? You toured it was very small.
Yeah, we station wagons, you know, and taxi cabs.
It started in England, yeah.
Oh, we started in England, yeah. Nightclubs, small venues, no ticket was more than £1. And Eric Clapton's name was not to be on anything. We played in some places, and they didn't know who the hell we were. And it's, well, which one of you is Mr. Clapton? You know, I would be Eric sometimes, you know, somebody else would be. But yeah, they didn't know.
Did you run into any sort of trouble when you were on the road?
Only one time, and this is in a place called the Roundhouse. And
Was it in Dagenham by any chance?
that's the one. And
Yeah, I had a problem
this
with
place had 9 bars, a great big room. It used to be where they take the train and turn
Right.
it back around and go back out. And was getting it going. And we had, then I saw out there, the fight breaks out over there. And a hippie, long-haired hippie, and a skinhead. And we're playing, you know, and the more we played Let It Rain, the more intense this fight became. Next thing you know, some other hippies, some other skinheads, and then it became like a sea of folks fighting. And and it was like, it was going round and round. Skinhead had the hippie by the hair like this, and he was wearing his ass out. Well, guys running the thing said, stage is this tall. You guys, you need to turn that thing down. You need to stop playing right now. And I said, okay. And I walked over. Eric said, what are you going? I said, turn it up. I can't hear
No.
you know. And
Oh
it
my
just
God.
it was wild. We had to escape through a door that was chained. Bruce McCaskill and Basington Ward busted through a double door to get us out. I mean, it was a hell of a
I
deal.
do remember us talking about this one time.
Yeah, it was a hell of a deal.
So, do you have any memorable days, memorable shows? I mean, I remember that. No, I don't remember, but there are people that say that the live record was.
Yeah,
Live.
that was absolutely a great record. That was my favorite record because I'm sure Eric knew, but I didn't, that we were recording that night, or both nights. And I was focused on doing what I was doing. And it wasn't until after it became, was shipped gold and everything, that I went, oh, hell, that must have been the reason I had the other mic taped up. One went out to the truck and the other one went to the house.
Right.
But that's how it worked in those days. And it was great, but that meant nothing.
Didn't you say that the record went gold, and while you were just driving down the road, you read it somewhere?
I read it in the back of a limo, Pete Townsend's limo. I pulled up in Eric's drive, and I opened up a Rolling Stone and said, Derek and the Dominoes live at the Fillmore Ships Gold. And I went, stop the car, man. Turn around. Let's go to town. Let me get some money.
So you did. You went and got some money.
I did. Went straight out.
And let me ask you, how
Daytona.
much did you ask for? If your album ships gold, are you expecting to get some gold?
Oh yeah, yeah, man. I asked him. He said it was David Shaw. He was the money guy. The little fella. He's a little guy, and he had real wide ties. You know, all dressed to the hilt. He had a Bentley outside, convertible. Yeah, top drawer stuff. And he said, "Well," looking up over his desk. You know.
No.
He said, "Well, what can I do for you, Bobby?" I said, "I want some money." So we got a record out. I said, "I want some money." He said, "How much do you want?" And I went, 20,000 pounds. And he said, "Okay, When do you want it? I said,
lot of
right now. And then poured me a drink and sent a guy out to get it, and he brought it back, and it was in a Barclays bank bag. It was a lot of fun. I had fun with that.
I would imagine you did.
I did.
So what was the first thing you purchased with that money?
My Daytona Ferrari. Yeah. Oh yeah. Faster.
Is that the same
The premise
bag?
was the idea of it was that the faster you went on it, it was lower to the ground it would go, so it would hang to the. I tested it out to make sure. Yeah. But I had a lot of fun. I don't regret anything.
So someone did ask what if you ever played I Looked Away on any of the tours. You guys would
No.
Why didn't
No.
you do that?
I don't know why.
Wasn't rocking enough?
We didn't play Layla, but like once or something.
What about Thorntree? You didn't? I
No,
don't
we're
suppose-
busy doing
it
other
wasn't-
things. We didn't have time to get all cozy and fireside chat stuff out in the middle of the stage and people saying, "Get on with it!" They didn't know who we were. We're playing in America. They didn't know who the hell we were. And we got a #1 record with George Harrison playing on the radio, and we're like outside of Milwaukee or
But-
someplace, and it said Eric Clapton and his band. Tell them to turn around, man. Got to get that thing changed. Nobody knew who the hell
But
we were.
that's what the whole point was with Eric, wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
this whole-
but you know,
was it
it was a
frustrating?
little
at times?
soon for me, you know.
You didn't. Yeah, you would have rather have had a little bit of notoriety.
Yeah, a little more notoriety.
He was-
A limo every now and then would have been cool.
He was enjoying all of that, not being
Yeah,
huge.
he had only 2 guitars that he took on the road. A red Gibson Les Paul and Brownie that he took, and 9 times out of 10 he carried his own guitars. Eric did. You know, Bruce McCaskill was our main road man, and we all only had two roadies.
Did he change his own strings?
Yeah, he changed his own strings. The only person that he wouldn't he'd let change strings was Bruce. McCaskill had worked with them on Cream.
Right.
And he was a good man. He went on to work with me.
Does Eric have a special way of putting the strings on?
He put every bit of the wire on it. He said,
All of the wire?
Yeah, he
What?
put all of it on, you know.
He did?
That's what he did when I saw him doing it. He didn't have no wire pliers and that's just twisted it all on. He said,
Oh my gosh.
must be there for some reason. It's funny stuff. Yeah.